Hey everyone, my name is Brittany Harmon, and I'm going to talk to you about the behaviorist Andy Bondy. I will then go briefly into his main contributions to applied behavior analysis, which is the picture exchange communication system. This will kind of set the tone for the 4 main points from his articles that I reviewed. Then I will give a brief summary of some questions I would ask Andy Bondy if I had the chance. I will then finish up the presentation by going over some thoughts about Andy Bondy and the influences his work has had on ABA and my career going forward. First off, who is Andy Bondy? He graduated from the University of North Carolina with his MA and PhD. He completed his internship in 1976 at the University of Kansas. He has worked over 40 years with individuals with autism and other developmental disabilities. He also spent some time working in the school systems as well. He co-founded the Picture Educational Consultants, Inc. with his wife, Lori Frost. They created the picture exchange communication system and the pyramid approach to education. And in this photo, you see this is Andy Bondy with his wife, Lori Frost. The picture exchange communication system was developed in the 1980s by Dr. Bondy and his wife, Lori Frost. It is a picture-based communication system tool to help students with autism and other developmental disabilities. This system was based on the premises of not using verbal prompts. It focuses on principles of communication from B.F. Skinner. It is also used to help functional communication and transition skills. In the picture on the left, this is kind of an example basic PECS board with all your different individual pictures. And the picture on the right is kind of how a PECS can be used in a schedule to help show individuals their day and to help with transitions. And here's some of the articles that I read that were written by Andy Bondy. The first is the Picture Exchange Communication System. A main focus of his work is the Picture Exchange Communication System, or PECS, which had been developed over many years in the late 1980s. This is a communication tool that uses pictures to help individuals who have autism spectrum disorder and/or other developmental disabilities to develop functional communication skills. Bondy really wanted to focus on not using any verbal prompting to help the individuals to learn how to communicate, since verbal help from the teacher can be hard to transition away from. The goal with PECS, Bondy really wanted to help individuals to learn how to ask for help or request anything they may need to complete a task. Another big goal for Bondy was to use PECS as a great way to help individuals with ASD to transition from another activity to another. Next is about B.F. Skinner. This is who Bondy based a lot of his work around. I'll give you a brief info over B.F. Skinner. He was an American psychologist, behaviorist, author, inventor, and social philosopher who worked from the early to mid-1900s. He was best known for creating the theory of behaviorism. Bondy's articles talk a lot about the principles and ideas related to communication and B.F. Skinner, with the creation of the Picture Exchange Communication System as another way for individuals with disabilities to communicate. Bondy bases training on this system from B.F. Skinner and his verbal operants, which are different parts of communication. There are 5 of these forms that I will go into brief detail about. They are mands, which are requests, texts, which refers to using the senses to comment about an item. There are also interverbals, which can be compared to conversation skills, echoics, which are sounds, and autoclitics, which are responses. He wanted to build on these operants to create a more effective training tool to help increase the effectiveness of PECS with individuals with autism. Now, with a little background on the Picture Exchange Communication System, Bondy derived his teaching protocols from PECS and B.F. Skinner. Following in line with PECS, Bondy really wanted an effective protocol system to help emphasize the importance of the communication tool. The system was created along with the protocol that was divided out into 6 parts to help with the progress of the communication process. I found the first part of his teaching process interesting. Bondy talks about the protocol works best in the beginning if there are 2 people involved. These people are referred to as trainers. One trainer will personally be involved by communicating and interacting with the individual. They are called the listener. The other trainer will be behind the individual using nonverbal prompting to help the trainer who is socializing. This is where he goes into trainer 2 has no interaction with the individual, and through this process, trainer 2 will be easily transitioned out without any issues. The next part of the protocol, the teacher would do a preference assessment. Bondy wanted to make sure we found what was reinforcing to the client to help increase effectiveness of the system. The reinforcements from the preference assessments were selected. Then the 6-phase protocol would start. It starts with phase 1, which is learning to communicate. Phase 2, which is distance and persistence. Phase 3 is discrimination, or the difference between symbols. Phase 4 is using phrases. Phase 5 is answering a direct question, and phase 6 is commenting. Throughout the phases, the child will be able to learn how to communicate and will be able to ask for help on their own. The last article I'm going to sum up is the misconceptions about PECS and ABA. One big misconception with the picture exchange communication system was that it was incompatible with working in an ABA environment. This was said because ABA is mostly known for working only with a 1 teacher and 1 student ratio, while the beginning of PECS starts with 2 teachers. Bondy concluded ABA doesn't have a single form or style. It would appear PECS is an accepted part of the field. This statement was pivotal because if we could all keep an open mind, this tool could be effective in any environment, including ABA. A couple of misconceptions that can go together are that PECS is only for students with autism and that they have to be children. Bondy found a great study by Ziomek and Rayfelt concluded that individuals in the adult range who have severe disabilities, not including ASD, could learn how to communicate with PECS without any previous knowledge of the system. Here are some questions I would like to ask, if I could ask Andy Bondy. I would want to know what got him interested into the field. Also, I'd want to know what other behavior analysts he would like to work with, since he did a lot of his protocols and basis on B.F. Skinner. Also about the PECS system, what is one thing about PECS you wish everyone could understand better? And finally, since he did do some work in the school system, I was curious to see if he would like to go back and do trainings or would like to go back to that environment. After summarizing his work throughout the years, Bondy has become a great advocate for individuals with autism and other developmental disabilities in regards to wanting to help them be able to communicate throughout their environments. He has also influenced me to become more invested on different ways to incorporate the use of PECS. Bondy doesn't only strive for the use of PECS in the school system, but throughout all environments, especially during this time where individuals are doing a lot more work on their communication skills at home. And here is my reference page that I retrieved all my information from regarding Andy Bondy. I hope you all enjoyed the presentation. Thanks for watching.